My wife told me that I look like the super nerd from Pokopia. Today, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite recent games, Pokemon Pokopia, the cozy game of the year, definitely. Pokopia was so successful, I went and I looked it up, so I'm going to do you a favor and I'm going to tell you how successful Pokopia is. It's so successful that it has sold 4 million units worldwide, and the game reached 2.2 million copies in its first 4 days. And just so you know, it hit the 4 million milestone within 5 weeks of its launch in March earlier this year. I bought the Switch 2 and my wife got a Switch 2 just so we both could play Pokopia. That's how good this game is. On the other side, I have seen a lot of people not understanding the hype behind Pokopia, thinking that it was just way too overblown. A lot of people didn't really like the game while everyone else is saying it's one of the best games ever. And I always thought that was interesting. I didn't understand why people didn't like Pokopia or what their problem was with it. And sure, it's not going to be a game for everyone, and that makes sense. But I will say, as a cozy gamer and as a gamer in general, but someone who also just really likes cozy games too, I used to be the Animal Crossing guy. Like, I would make so many Animal Crossing New Leaf videos, I would live stream New Horizons, and my wife really likes Stardew Valley. Fun fact too, Pokopia was, I think, the first game she's ever beaten before. But a lot of people just look at Pokopia and they're like, I'm not a cozy person, I'm not a cozy gamer, I'm not gonna like this game. But if there was a game that were to get you into cozy gaming, Pokopia would definitely be the best one. And I say that because the gameplay loop is just something that gets you so hooked and sucked in. So even if you don't know how to design, or you're not very like an artistic person, just the making the habitats and finding the Pokemon and pretty much filling out your Pokedex, because there is a Pokedex in this game, that whole gameplay loop will suck you in, and it feels really good just collecting all the Pokemon, getting everyone satisfied, and all of these things. That sounds really weird. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like making these Pokemon happy, spawning these Pokemon and discovering their habitats. Like, it's just such a dopamine rush. So there is the traditional farming and there is these other things, and you do use the Pokemon to kind of help you in your world, and then they also live in it. So it's just really interesting the things that you can do in Pokopia. If you've played Dragon Quest Builders before too, it is very similar to that, except there isn't anyone that comes and raids and attacks your whole village. So if you did like Pokopia and you've played Pokopia but you want something new, I definitely recommend Dragon Quest Builders. The only downside I would say about it is that on the Switch it does kind of lag and it runs not as good as it does on other things. Dragon Quest Builders was the original game. This is pretty much just Pokemon version of Dragon Quest Builders. I'm pretty sure it's also the same team. So there were so many people that I felt like bought this game, maybe played it for a few days, played it for a week, already had a Switch, and then they didn't care about Pokopia anymore. And it's to the point where I start hearing this thing where people are saying that the DLC isn't worth it. Pokopia was almost going to be game of the year for me. Like, if not, it might still be game of the year. I'm just kind of waiting to see like what other games are coming out this year, and just scaling everything. We're halfway, a little bit over halfway throughout the year, so it is still kind of too soon for me to say that. But when Pokopia came out, I really got game of the year vibes from it. You really just get so much out of this game. I even want to go back and play it. I feel like me and my wife kind of rushed through the game, and I low-key pushed her to rush through the game a little bit because I saw that there was these other abilities that you can get and you'd have to finish the game, and it makes decorating and things a lot easier. So I kind of regret pushing her to finish it so fast, and then me also rushing through it as well to get those abilities. I really regret that. I wish I took more time with Pokopia, and she kind of feels the same way, but we've been talking about it recently and we really want to go back and play the game again. And I think with the DLC coming out very soon, that will be something that we will be doing, because this DLC is awesome. Like, being able to go underwater and do all this stuff, like these people saying that they don't like the fact that it's $30 or whatever, it's half the price of the game for a Pokopia. It's like, yeah, a lot of DLC though is kind of like that. Like, are we not going to pretend that people didn't spend the same amount or even more than the same amount on the Super Smash Bros DLC? And like, those are just characters. So to me, it just sounds like a bunch of people that are hating on Pokopia. A few months ago, we were all loving Pokopia, and then now people are just either not playing it, they're not talking about it. These are the Pokopia LARPers. Get them out of here. So I do think that once the DLC comes around and the people who buy the DLC and play Pokopia, not to gatekeep Pokopia. I am not trying to gatekeep it at all. I want everyone to enjoy it just just as much as I do, and anyone should be able to enjoy it. I am not trying to say who's the real Pokopia fans. If you really do love and appreciate Pokopia, it makes sense to be excited for the DLC, and I felt like when the DLC was announced, it was almost the opposite. People were like criticizing Pokopia. I just feel like if you really took your time with the game too, you'd probably be finishing up on the game right about now. And this is a great time because they're saying the DLC is supposed to come sometime in August. That could literally be a few days from now. It could be the 1st of August, it could be the middle of August, or it could be the last day of August. There's no date yet, which is so weird to me why they would do it this way. We're so close to August and we still don't have like a set date, and you can pre-order and buy the DLC right now. So it's just weird to me that we still don't know the exact date that we're gonna get the Pokopia DLC. There are so many games releasing, I don't have time to play everything all at once. I'm hooked on Splatoon Raiders right now too. I can't even play other games, but there's so much to this game. I don't know why people are saying this about the DLC or complaining about the price. I get it. It sucks to spend money and more money on a game you already own. Sure, it makes sense. And it's a game key card. Like, yeah, I totally get that. Oh my God, I sound like a Pokopia shill. I really do, but I promise you I'm not. It's just that good of a game that I don't mind buying this DLC. I kind of wish it didn't come in waves. I would say that's probably the only thing that I could really critique it about, is that I wish it just all came out. But it is a game where it's, you know, take your time with it, do the things. The Japanese name is in Spanish and it's like Poco or something like that, where it's like little by little. I probably totally butchered that, but if you're a Pokopia fan, and I'm talking about the real Pokopia players, all right, all the LARPers have already left the video by this point. You know what I'm talking about. Little by little Pokopia part 3, which is going to be coming out early next year. That is going to be a whole new region, which means all new Pokemon, and some of the Pokemon that weren't already included in the game. Like, there are a lot of Pokemon that aren't included. I can't wait to see who's added. Even with this dive feature, there's so many water type Pokemon, so it makes sense that they would do something like this, because now there's going to be that new region in Bleak Speech. There's probably going to be new Pokemon in that too, and I wonder how this is going to work with the Cloud Islands. That's what I'm really excited about. Do we have to make a whole new Cloud Island for dive, or maybe we have to unlock stuff and then that could be like part of the habitat? I'm just excited that people are also going to be talking about Pokopia again. Maybe I'm way too early with this, but I'm also probably the only other person making a Pokopia video right now because everyone's a friggin' LARPer. But I do understand it too though, because when Pokopia first came out, a lot of people probably rushed through the game like me, or just played so much of it that you just got burnt out and there wasn't much to do, or maybe you just got overwhelmed because there is a lot in this game. And when you look at other people's builds too, you probably feel discouraged. You're probably like, oh, that would take me forever to build. I could never build anything like that. And so just don't compare yourself. That's the biggest thing when it comes to this type of game or any cozy game in general. Do not compare your island or your world or your creations to other people, because comparison is the killer of all joy, as I'm sure you've probably heard that before. If not, let me put some wisdom on you. But my main save is so messy because I just went through the entire game. I get more of a kick in Pokopia on the Cloud Islands. I really like the online feature and I love playing with my friends, and so that's something that I did, and I played with my wife, and those are things that I prefer more about Pokopia. So I don't really care too much about my own region, but unlocking the Pokemon, discovering the habitats, discovering the recipes and decorations and ingredients and stuff like that, I love bringing that over to the Cloud Island. And so the Cloud Island was the big thing for me. The online island was my favorite part of the game. That's why I wanted to make this video, just to get people excited again, because Pokopia is freaking awesome and we're not that far from the DLC coming out. What do you guys think? Are you excited for the DLC? Please leave a comment because I read all of them and I would love to hear what you guys think. Like this video if you liked what I had to say, or if you like Pokopia and you want to see more, and subscribe as always for more Cyberdachi. I'll see you guys later.